So, you want to bag your Mercedes-Benz W124. Hello and welcome to a new video, guys. And yes, finally, after a year of waiting, nakakuha din kami ng next classic Mercedes-Benz to do. And this is the next one in our list of hitting multiple classics. The first one I would like to feature is our W108 build kay Kuya Mark Cars of Mark Cars Trading. Okay, the next one would be a W123 kay Kuya Ben, Tito Ben. How are you? Those cars are really difficult to build, and we have now in our video catalog a W124. And I'm so happy to tell you guys na on this car naman, kahit papano, it took us the proper amount of time to do the car. 1 week to do the car. The rest of the cars that I told you a while ago were actually 2 to 3 weeks of building it. So the Mercedes-Benz na gantong S-Class are actually very notorious. This is an S-Class, correct? S-Class W124, E-Class. So, sorry. So this is actually an E-Class na W124. The chassis, the W124 chassis is actually quite madaling gawin rather than the 123 and the 108 and the other classics na gagawin natin in the future. The 124 is the start of the modernization ng classic Mercedes-Benz, or this classic Mercedes-Benz in that case. They really kept what they can kept from the previous generation, but they improved a lot, especially on interior, and I could say suspensions. So, enough of that, or enough of the story of the Mercedes-Benz. We're actually going to tackle the topic of how to bag. Kasi ang title ng video na ito is So You Want to Bag Your W124. And this is how, matututunan mo dito. Do you love classic Benzes or classic cars in general? We can actually bag it with our product. So, ang purpose ng video na ito is to educate you or to encourage you to bag your car, especially if you own a W124. It actually uplifts the car to feel like an S-Class. From an E-Class to an S-Class feel, you'll really feel the benefit of air. Kasi actually, the S-Classes or the E-Classes on this era sa ngayon, sa panahon natin ngayon, actually are equipped with air suspensions. So equipping this with air suspension is not only proper, it's actually a worthwhile upgrade. So enough of my chatter. Let's dive into the technical details ng kotseng ito. As I've said, I'll be discussing technical information on how to bag a W124. So I need you to lend me your ears. And please, while you're at it, like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for a notification as we dive in to the technical details ng W124. So bear with me, it's gonna be a long one, but you'll see the quirky things that you'll find underneath this car. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, welcome to the front side of the suspension ng ating W124. As you can see, we're actually underneath and pointing the camera from the bottom to the top kasi medyo masikip yung ating clearances. Lalo na dito sa unahan. The rear side is a bit more forgiving than the front. But as you can see, front ito. But why does it have a divorce layout? This is very common for Mercedes-Benz na magkaroon ng divorce layout kahit hindi naman tayo nasa likod ng suspension. Dito ko lang nakita sa mga gantong kotse or sa brand na to, Mercedes-Benz, na nagkakaroon ng divorce front suspension. The next would be the, the Rubicons and the SUVs. But fortunately for us, this W124 has a divorce layout similar to the W123 ginawa namin at sa ating ginawang W108 ni Kuya Mark Cars. So this is very, very prominent sa mga gantong lumang Benz. And they tend to be really difficult kasi ang daming kailangan iwasan. We have the cowling here, the shocks here. So, it is a very difficult car to build. I'm going to say that right out of the bat. Pag hindi kayang gawin ng builder mo to, please stay away from that. Kasi napakahirap gawin ito. Proper machining work and proper offsetting is actually required. This build is on a 10 out of 10 scale of difficulty and requires a lot of engineering work. So, ginalaw ko lang yung camera so you can actually have a more, perspective view ng ating bags. So indeed, medyo masikip yung layout, but nonetheless, we were able to do it properly. So once again, medyo mahirap gawin to. Take it with a grain of salt. Take my word for it. If you're not experienced on doing bags, Kakainin ka ng kotseng to. So, let's move on to the back side of the car and let's actually discuss the rear layout ng kotseng ito as we, go in deeper to this educational part of the video. So, let's go. Alright, welcome to the rear side of the W124. As you can see, we have a standard divorce suspension layout. Unlike the front na sinabi ko kanina, hindi common or hindi standard na divorce yung unahan. Sa likod, ito, standard to. We have a very, very standard lower control arm type divorce suspension. Shocks is right here. Lower control arm is right here. Of course, the clearances is a bit tight. But rest assured, okay naman tayo sa mga clearances. So, ang challenge dito is to, make the bag or to press the bag properly so that we can actually utilize the lift of this slim bellow bag. Slim bellow bag is actually lacking power on lift capabilities, but if you press it enough, you'll be able to lift the car properly. The W124 is a bit heavy, so kailangan talaga, I have to stress it out sa boys na kailangan natin ito mapisak ng tama. And then of course, in terms of difficulty, installing this bag here at the back side, medyo mahirap kasi there's a lot of things to worry about. You have the shocks, the subframe, the axle is on the front. So lahat ng yan ay factor for hazard. Okay? Pati itong kanyang brake line, if you can see, medyo malapit sa airbag. Hinila pa namin yung brake line niya para hindi siya tumama. But regardless, we were able to pull it off, pero medyo mahirap. If we're not going to do your air suspension build, you have to show them this video. Posibleng kainin ng axle mo yung airbag mo. Posibleng sumabit yan sa brake line mo at nabutas yung airbag mo. It does happen, it can happen, and you just have to be worried or you just have to be very, very wary of what you will be, putting on the car. So, I hope this video will help. Anyway, let's move on to the back side of the car and let's actually see the layout of this W124. Hello and welcome to the trunk layout of the Mercedes-Benz W124. Zooming out of the view, you can actually see that the trunk space of this beauty is actually malaki. Actually, kasyang-kasya pa ako dito. Okay? So we only took about just a third of the space. Okay? You can still put a lot of stuff here. You can put a lot of groceries and luggages. Pero of course, we have to make space with air suspension. And the owner actually decided to just display the layout para may spare tire pa rin siya. Zooming into the layout, you can actually see our setup, our system setup. Meron tayong 3-gallon tank with a 2-compressor setup na chrome. And then we have our Fitment engineering management systems sa gitna. Running on pressure sensors lang ito. Wala siyang height sensors. But that's fine because you don't need something like that on this car. And of course, the layout is just clean, presented. We actually fashioned him or commissioned him a simple flooring na lang kasi of course, hindi naman kasama to sa stock ng Benz, di ba? Wala naman ganito yung stock na Benz. Nilagyan lang namin ng magandang flooring para black lahat, puti yung kotse, black yung system, malinis lang lahat. Maraming salamat sa boys natin for doing a great job on the woodworks. Simple lang kami, hindi kami naglalagay ng mga magarbong layout because we want form and function over, aesthetics. Kasi aanin mo naman yung system mo kung hindi mo siya ma-maintenance na maayos. And of course, if it's gonna take a lot of space, it's gonna be a waste. So, how do you like it? Ito yung aming trunk layout. There's nothing much to discuss naman. Sorry, I'm rushing into the video kasi we only have limited time with this car. Okay? So, maraming salamat sa owner nga pala for letting us shoot the car tonight. And yun lang naman ang gusto ko ipakita where the system is, how did we do it, and how it is presented, and how we solved a bit of its issues sa flooring, which actually just fashioned a good amount of wood and carpet for it. So that's going to be it for the trunk layout. Let's actually move on to the conclusion of the video where we actually talk about more about this very peculiar car, the W124. Okay, let's go. Hello and welcome to the outro of the video. And as you can see on our front suspension, recap lang tayo ng ating technical details. It's very actually common for Mercedes-Benz to have a divorced suspension layout sa unahan at likod. And this is no stranger to that kind of feature. The W124 still sports a divorced front suspension, but it's actually very difficult to do. Yun yung pinaka-challenge when doing classic Benz. Wala siyang married suspension. Harap-likod, they're divorced. So yun yung pinaka complicated part of the suspension ng kotseng to. Pero sa unahan, may space naman tayo. It's just that we have to fashion ourselves a flange that will actually adapt to the stock spring catches. Ang spring catch niya medyo tagilid, so kailangan mong i-angle yun ng tama. Sa likod naman, diretso lahat ng mga spring catches natin, but the problem on the backside is sobrang sikip niya. So the axle is quite close to the bag and we have to set our tolerances. The brake lines has to be relocated. So yun yung mga summary ko dun sa pangilalim ng kotse. As for the trunk layout naman, quite spacious. Wala naman tayong dapat pag-usapan dun or pag-diskusyonan. It's quite a spacious trunk layout. But enough talk about the summary. Let's actually see the car's dynamics. Tingnan natin kung how much lift you can get with this car and how much drop. Well, it's actually drop on the floor right now. I'll just show you how the car feels and the dynamics of the car para naman maengganyo kayo lalong na magpabag ng inyong W124. Starting off, let's connect to the car. Okay? So connecting via the app of the Fitment app. Let's actually raise the car. So of course, obviously, mabigat yung kotse. So let's try to lift up the front and rear even further to the maximum that it can go. So it's a very heavy body. So hintayin na lang natin. Let's actually fast forward to the point na meron tayong enough air pressure. So let's cut to that in a bit. So now we have the car fully aired up. Pinakarga ko muna yung kotse. Siyempre mababa yung voltage ng gantong kotse. So we had the car filled up with air muna. This is a 14-inch wheel, stock wheel. This is a 15-inch wheel, stock wheel niya. And by measuring it with my fingers, you can get a clearance of 5 fingers. From stock wheels to Okay, 5. On the back side, you can get around the same. Actually, 4. Sakto. Yan yung maximum lift ng kotse because people will be wondering, pwede ko ba rin ba itaas yung kotse when we're actually with bags? So ito yung maximum height niya. Now, obviously, people would want to see too how to drop the car. So let's see it real time. Dropping the car naman, of course, the car still has some room for improvement. Pwede pa niyang palitan yung wheels. You can actually change the shocks in the front so it can drop lower. Sa front naman, we still have around 3 to 4 fingers gap sa, well, it's a small wheel. Forgive me for that. We'll change that in the future. Pero, ito ay worthwhile modification para sa kotse. Kasi, inuna niya muna yung air, which is proper, bago siya bumili ng wheels and tires para at least, pag nagpalit siya in the future, alam na niya yung mga sukat. So, this is the dynamics of the car, the W124. Nga pala, the car is actually being used as a bridal car. Lagay ko na lang dito yung details sa baba. If you want to rent this car here in Makati area or anywhere in Manila, hit them up, okay? If you want to ride on a W124 with bags, okay? Hit them up down below. Shoutout nga pala kay Renzo sa pamilya niya. And thank you for trusting Fitment. Anyway, is the W124 a good car for stance? Yes. If you actually search online, madaming nagpapaporma ng gantong body or chassis ng Benz na W124. You can see blacked out version with this, with a dish wheel, bag slammed to the floor. So I would really suggest ito ay isang magandang platform for stance. I really do hope na makita natin yung full potential ng kotseng to. Of course, kakatapos pala ng kotse sa restoration niya. First was paint, and then bags, and then syempre, buwelo lang ng konti, gawa tayo ng mags in the future. We'll get proper wheels for the car, and I'm pretty sure we'll see more of this car in the Philippine car scene. So that's going to be it. I only have limited time to discuss with you how quirky this car is, pero there's a video for that, I'm pretty sure. For now, that's going to be it for this catalog video. How was it? Do you like the look of this Benz? Okay? So, sa mga nanonood na mayroong W124 o may classic Benz, this is how. This is how you actually bag your W124. So, comment down below, what are your thoughts? And while you're at it, please like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for the notification. And, okay, as you can see, I'm sweating. This car is really hot. As in, mainit siya. So, we'll have to finish the video, okay? As the car is here temporarily. Maraming salamat sa may-ari for letting me shoot the car. Please comment down below kung ano pang pwede naming i-shoot na kotse or to do. Ano pa bang gusto nyong makitang nakasama sa aming catalog? We'll see. But that's going to be it for now. It's been Cal from Fitment Engineering, and you're watching Fitment TV. And I'll see you on the next episode. Maraming salamat po sa mga nanood and sa mga sumusuporta. Okay? Thank you so much. And I'll see you